Hey guys, One Collective here. My name is Clement.
My name is Gerald.
Gary.
John.
Elaine Wen here.
After you get pre-approved or know your budget for buying, what's next? What should new home buyers look for? I would say the location is pretty important, right?
Basics of real estate. Location.
Right? It's like you want to live in Vancouver, Burnaby, Richmond, or Surrey, or Langley. You have to, decide, right? You can't look all over the place. It will be a waste of time, I guess.
Yeah.
Right?
Well, location is usually catered by what you need and want, right? For example, if I work in Richmond, I would not want to look for anywhere further in Langley if I don't have to, right? I would look in the surrounding areas such as Vancouver, New West, or even Delta at that point.
But there's so much more to location though, right? Like you can plan for your children's education. You want to live close to a good school district, right? You want to live close to your work, right? It really location, like Clement said, location, right? When it comes to real estate, right? And
Shopping center
shopping.
during the traffic hours.
Yes.
You want to go quickly make
but
stuff in there.
Healthcare,
Yeah.
close to hospital, doctor.
Yeah.
But sometimes you have to combine the budget and location together. I mean, if the budget doesn't work out, you have to sacrifice the location, live a little bit further.
Yes.
Okay, if I buy a property here, my work is right next door, this property is $1 million. I can't afford it. Then you have to buy out here for maybe $500,000, but you drive half an hour to work every day. Which this you have to sacrifice. I think.
Or you could sacrifice something else. Instead of looking for maybe a freehold, you could also be looking for a leasehold property.
Yeah.
Which, in the long terms of things, they tend to not have the increase in value as a freehold does. But I mean, if you're just looking for a place to live, you're not really looking for the
Appreciation.
Yeah, the appreciation of the property, then go for it, right? As long as you get what you need out of that property, right? And it goes for everybody. Like everybody has a different need. Right?
So someone explain to everyone a quick explanation: freehold, leasehold. Leasehold is basically you buy. It's like renting apartment or condo, just renting, right? So you buy a land, a property, but you only own it for a certain amount of years, right? And then you have to, nobody knows yet. There's like a few options. You might return, you have to return it, or they give you an option to buy out, but nobody actually bought a leasehold and ended, and they know the option, right? There's a few options, right?
There's also multiple different types of leaseholds.
Yeah.
So there's university lands, there's government lands, there's indigenous lands. So each of those leaseholds are very different. Oh, there's also private. So there's a lot of private owned leaseholds in downtown where you can see the prices of those are typically lower. And for those, it depends on.
The one in downtown is because the lease is almost coming up. So
I think they should have. Usually leaseholds are about 99-year lease.
Yeah.
So you really have to take a look at the head lease. So every time you look into a leasehold, you definitely need to ask the agent for the head lease to see how much lease they have left on there. Because once it gets closer to the end of the lease, typically people don't want to buy those, right? Because they don't know what's going to happen.
Yeah, and whenever you buy it, and you have to return it, right? A fun fact, some of the leaseholds, there's no empty home tax, no foreigner tax, right? You can avoid all those, right?
So the main thing is whether we buy leasehold or freehold is to get into the market first, right? Because even though we whenever we can afford to get into the market because once we're in the property or the home appreciates, and then we can always move up. But if we're going to wait for the prices of the homes to come down, that's not going to happen.
It's not going to happen. Yeah.
And but the interest rates fluctuate; they go up and down. But home prices are continuously going up.
leasehold it is a good way to get into the market first because as the price is always lower, right?
Yeah.
But also, I think a great way to get in the market first is if you sacrifice, like living further away from the city location, right? Price will be cheaper too, but also like it's more popular than leasehold. Freehold is more popular than leasehold, right? So the resale value is probably there, but it's just easier to sell than leasehold. That's my opinion. But leasehold definitely it will be cheaper than freehold for sure.
Another thing you can sacrifice is the luxury part of it. So instead of looking for something like newer, right, look for something that's maybe 30, 40, even 50 years older. Just so, you know, you can, I mean, of course, you still need to do your due diligence and make sure that's a good building and that they have done their, you know, maintenance and kept everything up to date. But yeah, if you look into an older property, you could save a few dollars there. And of course, the appreciation of these is, I would say, it's still higher than leaseholds.
Older property is more chance of haunted house.
Let's go to freehold, or because we went through a leasehold.
Yeah.
Maybe we should go through the freehold.
Yeah, if you want, yeah, let's talk about freehold.
Yeah, freehold. Yeah, I mean the freehold is the opposite of leasehold.
Well, that's not really helpful for them, right?
Could you, I mean, John, could you explain
Freehold.
freehold a little to us?
Well, I know what is freehold, but I don't know how to put it into the explanation.
Yeah, that's tough because nobody knows how to explain what freehold is. You think freehold is not leasehold, but the freehold, the land, everyone think, oh, freehold, you own the land, you don't have wrong.
But it's actually owned by the crown.
Owned by the crown.
Yes.
If the crown said, I want to take back your land,
So every land, even leasehold, is all owned by the crown. Right?
Yeah,
so it's not. So basically, freehold is just you can do. Basically own the
freehold,
land.
basically, they don't say, oh, you lease it for 99 years. They just say, okay, it's owned by the crown, but there's no time limit.
Which you can pass on to your next generation.
Yes.
Only if they don't take it back before you
Yeah.
pass it on.
A lot of time the crown will compensate, but you know there's a chance that the crown can say no, I'm just gonna take this land back and that's it.
That's
No
a good point
compensation.
to look into.
Yeah.
If the crown wants to build a highway there on your house,
Yeah.
you're leaving.
Yeah, you're leaving.